Happy Cyber Monday to everybody out there. CJ Curry. We're back talking some more NBA player props in today's video. Hope all of you out there had a wonderful Thanksgiving, got to spend some time with some loved ones, some friends, eat some good food, and fellowship with one another. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed before, hit the subscribe button. It's free for you to do. I'll be dropping videos regularly, looking at my favorite NBA player props throughout the season. We have from now all the way until June. It's a long road ahead, so appreciate everybody who's been rocking with these videos. And if you're not subscribed, you can subscribe, turn on the notifications so you're alerted anytime I drop a new piece of content, and also leave a like. It's a small gesture from you, but it goes a long way for me and help growing the channel, so thank you in advance for everybody who hits that like button daily. We had ourselves a pretty good holiday break. We cashed on a number of different slips in yesterday's Dub Club picks. This one right here kind of saved the day. Thankfully, it was a rough NFL day, but this NBA slip that I sent out to the community did really well. It's all field goal attempts, which has been a really good player prop category for me. It's one of the reasons why I like playing on PrizePicks. Many other apps, many other books don't offer field goal attempts for NBA, but it's been one that's been making me some pretty good moolah over the NBA season. But yeah, we took Jalen Williams, Jeremy Grant, Scotty Barnes, and Derek Queen all over field goal attempts, and they all cashed. So we turned 40 into 240. A nice little 6x there. The other night, I took these field goal attempt props, and that was Kobe White and Pascal Siakam in a 2-pick. That $40 went to $120. And I got to give a shout out to who made this mess, aka my guy Tony inside of our Dub Club Discord. He sent out this 2-pick CS2 option and went for 100 and turned it into 300. So nice little 3x there. So a lot of different stuff going on inside of the Dub Club community. If you guys are not Dub Club members, I just had to open up 25 more promo coupons for you folks because you guys keep snatching these up. But here you go. For your first month, only $10 gets you in, and you'll get all the picks, plays, and parlays for myself and the rest of the community members who are contributing to the cause. And of course, we've got helpful stats and information going on in there, good conversation, non-toxic environment. So if you're bringing any drama, bringing any baggage, bringing any sort of negative energy to the community, you don't even need to bother. Don't do it. We want positive people who are out to try and help each other win more together. So link down in the description if you want to join the Dub Club. Like I said, just $10 gets you in the door for your first month, and you can start receiving picks like these sent to you daily from myself and the rest of the squad. So let's get into today's picks. I'm going to stick with these NBA field goal attempt props because, like I said, they've been treating me so well. Let's go with this first one. It's a little controversial because this guy is a superstar, no doubt about it. Giannis Antetokounmpo, and I'm looking to take the under on his field goal attempts at 18.5. Now, he is going against Washington. He is going against his former squad mate, Chris Middleton, so there's a little bit of concern here. But I also wanted to point out that Milwaukee plays with a couple of former Washington Wizards as well. One being Kyle Kuzma. I could see Kuzma getting some extra minutes, wanting to get a few extra shots up against his former ball club in the Wizards. And then you've also got Bobby Portis, who comes off the bench, who was once upon a time a Washington Wizard. That was quite a long ways ago, a long time ago. But nonetheless, you have a couple of guys here on this Milwaukee Bucks team that may want to take out some revenge, let's just say, playing the Washington Wizards at Washington nonetheless. But looking to take Giannis under 18.5 field goal attempts. The only thing that kind of scares me about this is that it has been one where he's gone under consecutively in like 5 or more straight games. So there's a little bit of concern there because anytime you see like 5 green bars or 5 red bars, you know, it's just a matter of time before a guy kind of pops back up and does something that is kind of out of the norm for him. Now, the last time that he played Washington, he did go over 18.5 field goal attempts. That was a long time ago, though. That was back in October at the start of the season. So I'm hoping and praying that he doesn't decide to go nuclear tonight against the Washington Wizards. But what I will say is that there are some very nice projections over on the NBA shot quality models. This has been my favorite model to use for these field goal attempt props. So let's bust open the calculator here so that we can get accurate projections for Giannis against this Washington Wizards ball club tonight. So they expect Giannis to play around 29 minutes. this isn't one of those matchups outside of the fact that there's a little bit of like former teammate narrative. This isn't one of those matchups that Giannis typically like would be excited to get up for. You know, it's the Washington Wizards, one of the worst teams in the NBA. Normally Giannis sort of gives maximum effort against teams where it's going to be a highly competitive game. You know, teams like Cleveland or maybe even an Orlando or a Los Angeles Lakers, you know, some of those better teams with superstars. He kind of has that like chip on his shoulder where he wants to play really well. But nonetheless, he is projected for 14.93 two-point attempts, plus another 1.12 three-point attempts, which brings his grand total to about 16.5 total field goal attempts. Let me move this into frame here. 16.05 is his projected field goal attempts. Again, his line is sitting at 18.5, so that's why I'm thinking about taking the under on this particular prop. Although, like I said, he is a superstar. He is going against a former teammate. He did go over in a previous game earlier this season against Washington, so there's a little bit of concern there. But I'm going to take it anyway and trust in these projection models that have cashed me out over and over again. All right, pick number 2. We're going with an Atlanta Hawk who has been just balling lately, and I'm talking about Jalen Johnson, forward for the Atlanta Hawks. I'm looking at his field goal attempt props. He's at 16.5 today. At that number, I'm interested in taking the more or over in this case. And so let's get a closer look here at Jalen Johnson and what he's been doing over the last several games. You can see that he's got some pretty nice little hit rates here. 21 against Philly in his last game. And then he's got 18 against Cleveland, 12 against Washington, and 22 against Charlotte with 15 against New Orleans. That New Orleans game was a really weird one. If you took any Jalen Johnson in that New Orleans game, not the best performance from JJ in that one. But nonetheless, this is another one where it is projecting well. And then on top of that, Kristaps Porzingis is questionable to play tonight. So if Porzingis is out, I really like this one and could see this one getting bumped up to something like 18.5 if Porzingis misses another game. He's been battling an illness. He's quite frankly had this illness going on. It's been a lingering thing for last couple of seasons. So anyway, Jalen Johnson over 16.5 looks pretty good, especially when you consider the fact that he's gone over against the Detroit Pistons in his last 3 head-to-heads against them. So tends to like to put up some shots against Detroit for whatever reason. So loving the hit rates there. But let's check out some projections here for Mr. Jalen Johnson. So if we head on over to shot quality and we plug in his name, Jalen Johnson is projected for about 14.91 field goal attempts. Those are 2-pointers. And then 3.73 3-pointers, which brings him up to a total of about 18.64 total field goal attempts. So that's a 2 field goal attempt differential, slightly more than 2. And this is with Porzingis playing. Like I said, if Porzingis happens to sit out, then this would only help Jalen Johnson and his cause in terms of getting over 16.5 field goal attempts. So that's pick number 2 for you. Pick number 3, we're going right back to the field goal attempts. I'm looking at Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane at 16.5 field goal attempts tonight going up against the Chicago Bulls. Should be a good game, highly competitive matchup. Bane, Wagner, and Jalen Suggs have kind of been the new big 3 here lately with Paolo Banchero still out for Orlando. So with Desmond Bane at 16.5 field goal attempts, the last time that he took the floor, he put up a massive number of 25 field goal attempts. Now, I don't know if he's going to get 25 shots up tonight, but there's a good chance, according to these projections and the fact that this game is going to stay relatively close and competitive, that he could go over 16.5 tonight. So let's take a closer look at Desmond Bane's projections over on the shot quality models. Plugging in Bane's name over there, let's clear out our calculator here. He's projected for about 10.75 2-point attempts, plus another 7.78 3-point attempts, which brings his grand total to 18.53 total field goal attempts. So the lovely shot quality projection models have Bane for at least 2 field goal attempts higher than where his line is sitting on PrizePicks at just 16.5. So hopefully Bane is getting his shot up. Again, this game should be one of those ones where it kind of stays close and competitive. I could see this being like more of a fast-paced game. So hopefully Bane and the rest of the Orlando Magic are shooting their shot. The only thing that really hurts these field goal attempt props is when a guy gets fouled on a 2-point or 3-point field goal attempt, because that is one wasted field goal attempt. They don't get any credit for being fouled on a shot, so that does not count toward their field goal attempt total. Just wanted to point that out there. Some of these guys who draw a lot of contact, draw a lot of fouls, they're not always the best when it comes to taking their overs on field goal attempts, because those foul free throw attempts will, like I said, significantly cut into their field goal attempts. So anyway, just wanted to point out that tidbit. Now this last one is a demon, and normally I don't take demons on PrizePicks, but with this one, there is some value here, and this young man has been putting up a healthy amount of shots. I'm talking about Keonte George of the Utah Jazz. His demon field goal attempts are at 15.5. So if you wanted to roll the dice on a demon field goal attempt prop, this one is projecting quite nicely. If you just kind of take a peek at some of his recent games, he only had 6 attempts versus Houston the last time he played the Rockets. I expect that to improve. I don't expect him to come out and only take 6 shots in this rematch sort of back-to-back game against the Rockets. I could see him getting more shots up, or at least trying to get more shots up. This is a young man who has put up 19 against Sacramento, 17 shots against the Golden State Warriors, 23 against the Lakers in some of his recent games. So the potential, the upside, the ceiling is definitely there for Keonte George, even though he only put up 6 attempts versus the Houston Rockets. One thing I will say about the NBA is that matchups very rarely play out the same the second go around as they did the first time around. So again, I would not be surprised if Keonte George was a little more aggressive on the offensive end and looked to find his shot in this matchup. But who cares what I think? Let's look at the projections, because that's how I make all of my decisions. They're all projection-based, data-based. So let's take a peek at Keonte George's projections, where he is projected to play about 34 minutes tonight. Now, as far as 2-pointers, he's projected for about 9.29 2-pointers to be exact. And then on top of that, he's got another 8.58 3-point attempts, which brings his total field goal attempts projection to 17.87. So more than a 2 field goal attempt differential for Keonte George, according to these shot quality advanced analytics NBA projection models. So, like I said, I don't typically take demons because they're harder to hit, but they do pay more when they do hit. If you're going to roll the dice on any demon for field goal attempts, this might be a good one based on the projections that I'm seeing here, based on the amount of shots that this guy generally puts up. And like I said, this should play out a little bit different. He should get more shots than he did in that last game where he only attempted 6. But that is pick number 4, which means we have reached the end of today's video. Thank you so much for joining me for another one. I'll be back for another video for Taco Tuesday. Until then, good luck on all your picks, plays, and parlays. And if you're in our Dub Club and Discord, keep your eyes peeled. I'll be sending out more slips, and hopefully we have ourselves a winning day and start the month of December off right. Thank you, and we'll catch you in another video real soon. Peace.